Hello, good morning. We're gonna do something a little different in the kitchen today. It is time to get 2026's garden started. Behind me, you can see my greenhouse. I bought this greenhouse 2 years ago. Last year was the first year I used it. Absolutely love it. The best like $35 that I spent. I bought a couple of trays. I have a few things started already, but I just wanted to show you these trays. These I found at our local Walmart, but you can find them on Amazon or the Burpee website or wherever. But they have a silicone bottom, so once the start is ready to go, it's super easy to just pop the seedling out and then be able to transplant it wherever you need. These I'm definitely going to be getting more of this year, but for now I only have 2. So we got some stuff started a little bit ago and they're doing fantastic. I did just adjust the lights in there because a couple of my seedlings are getting a little bit leggy, but 'tis the nature of starting seedlings inside. So I have a lot of seeds. I need to go through this and figure out which ones I want to get started. I know I need to start a handful of tomatoes still. This little case is one of my favorite things. My sister actually showed me this. It is from just our local craft store. I think you can find them on Amazon, but this one came from our local craft store. And it is actually meant to be a photo organizer. And it comes with all of these little boxes that I then labeled with whatever it is. And they store in here so nicely, stays super organized. And then you don't have to worry about seeds falling everywhere. You don't have to worry about not knowing what, package has what in it. It really is a game changer when it comes to organizing seeds once you start collecting a bunch like myself. So to get started, we are going to pick out what seeds we are going to get in the garden for this year. Now, my garden is a little up in the air this year. I'm not sure how many different varieties of things I'm gonna plant. I think I'm just gonna go with tried and true stuff this year because this might be our last gardening season here. We shall see. So I know I have arches out back, and when it's a little less icky outside, I'll go through a whole garden tour with you guys so you can see kind of what I'm dealing with, and maybe you can give me some tips and tricks as far as what would grow best where. I have been gardening here for the last 10 years or so, and I'm still constantly changing things. I always tell people, if something, it's just trial and error, really. So if you pop something in the ground and it grows fantastic one year, it might not grow fantastic the next year. You really never know. So everything's always just kind of moving around here. I do have 4 modular raised beds in the back with arches going between each. And then I have cattle panels on the back side of each of those beds that I lash my tomatoes to. I have garlic growing in one of those beds, so it's basically taken up. I have celery that has wintered in one of the beds, so that's basically one section of it is taken up. I have already sown our peas for this year. Last year we had the best snow and snap pea crop I have ever had. We were eating them nightly and it was so delicious. I didn't put any up to save. We just really enjoyed them for fresh eating, and I'm really hoping that we can get a ton this year also. My little really enjoys going out with his little harvest basket and picking off the snap peas and snow peas. It's really fun to include them in the garden. So as far as what we're going to start today, I started some peppers and some tomatoes, which are in the greenhouse already. I believe this is the pile that I already started. So I want to start some California sweet peppers. These are just like a bell pepper. I have a handful of flowers that I want to start. I think some of these I'm going to sow directly, and then some of them I will start because they need a little bit of longer time. We are in zone 8B-ish. It kind of changes. The Pacific Northwest is kind of a weird zone as far as weather goes. Sometimes we can get super late frost. Sometimes we can get hail in June. So we are right now in the middle of a very, very warm winter. So a lot of my plants have overwintered fantastic, which is great. but there's also some things that need cold stratification to be able to grow. So some of those things I'm gonna have to take into consideration for this next year. But like I said, I think this year I'm gonna stick to tried and true and really trying to get a bumper crop out of everything.
So going through these, I go crazy when I see somebody growing a fantastic crop of something or a new variety, and I try to find the seeds for it. This is one that I found. I actually found these on Etsy, but it was recommended by the Seasonal Homestead here on YouTube. These Midnight Romas grew so well for them, so I thought I was going to give those a try. These Elfie tomatoes, also from Etsy, they looked absolutely delicious, and so we're going to give those a try. And then Palomino Red, I can't remember why I got these, but we're going to give them a try. And then this pineapple tomato. So Becky from Acre Homestead here on YouTube grows these every year, and they are absolutely stunning. They are humongous. They have a fantastic combination of like flesh to seed ratio, so they're not super watery. Delicious for an heirloom tomato, as well as just to be able to have as a slicer. So we're gonna grow a bunch of these this year. This also has peppers in it, which I need to get another one of these containers, because once you start buying seeds, it just completely takes over. So I grew Ace 55 last year, this particular variety, and wasn't a super big fan. So I'm not gonna do that this year. I really wanna grow a lot more paste tomatoes for sauces. This is one of my favorite. These are Buena Mulatas. This is from rareseeds.com or Baker Creek. These are one of my favorite peppers to grow. They grow so prolifically. They're beautiful and they're absolutely delicious. It says that they're super duper spicy, but I don't find it to be super spicy. I do add them to hot sauce when I make hot sauce, but I think they're just fantastic and they're so pretty to grow. So let's see. I think we're gonna get these ones started here, some peppers and some tomatoes, and then I'm gonna look through the case and see what else I need to get started for this time in the garden season. One of the fun things about ordering seeds is some companies that you come across will actually send you a gift. So I ordered the Midnight Romas and the Elfies from this company on Etsy, and they sent me these purple strawberries as a gift. I have never tried this variety, but honestly, some of my favorite varieties of whether it be lettuce or tomato or greens have come as a little trial pack. Rareseeds.com or Baker Creek is another one of the companies that does this. And these Thornburn terracottas I've never tried before, but I've heard fantastic things about. So over the spring, when I ordered some seeds, I got these as a free sample, and I actually seeded some, and about 4 of them have already popped up. So I'm super excited to try these. I have heard nothing but wonderful things about this particular variety, but have never tried it. So it's kind of a fun option that you get when you hit thresholds with these seed companies.
So a couple more things that I found that we need to get started today are some zucchini. I typically grow just the generic Black Beauty, I believe is what it's called, the dark green zucchini that you see in the grocery store. It's super common. It can go absolutely bananas for you, but I decided I want to try something a little bit different this year. This Zucchino Rampicante I have seen people grow many, many times, and it looks like it does absolutely fantastic, and it's trellis friendly. So I think we're gonna try to do this one this year. And then I tried to grow this white zucchini last year. Becky from Acre Homestead grows this one, and she gets an amazing crop. I did not get one. I had plants, but the flowers would pop up and then they would just fall off. So I'm not sure if it was a pollination issue or if it was a soil issue or what, but we're gonna give it a try again this year. The other thing I need to get planned but not started indoors is some root veggies. My kiddos love planting radishes, and I went on a bit of a kick last spring and ordered a whole bunch of different varieties because they're so fun. If you want instant gratification in growing something, grow radishes. I have found that there are amazing varieties that aren't spicy, have delicious flavor, and are just super duper fun to grow. So my kiddos really love just going and pulling them out of the ground and dusting them off and eating them. But every once in a while, they'll get one that's like super spicy. And so it's a little bit of a turnoff for them. I have found that roasting radishes, I never knew this. Last year, I tried this for the first time. I took the radishes from the garden that we planted that were very spicy. So it was this particular pink variety, and I believe they are called Pink Beauty. These ones had some zip to them, and I loved that. I love the spicy radishes on a salad, but my kiddos did not. So what we did is took these and roasted them up on a sheet pan with any other vegetables, some potatoes, some onions, a little olive oil, salt, and pepper, and they were absolutely phenomenal. The kids scarfed them up. So it's a great option if you grow something that is like typically eaten raw, try cooking it. It's really, really good. So we're gonna grow a handful of radishes. This one has no name, so this is our mystery. We are gonna grow the purple ones and these black Spanish radishes that I grew last year that turned out fantastic. So we're gonna get some of these sown. We are supposed to have a frost and potential snow next week, so I might wait to put those out until the snow goes away. Radishes can definitely take some cold. They're totally fine with that. But the fact that these sprout so fast, I don't really want to give them that temperature shock if I don't need to. So we're gonna pick out the ones that we want, and then we're gonna get some dirt in our cells, and we're gonna get some seeds started.
It feels totally weird starting seeds already for 2026's garden because we in the Pacific Northwest haven't had any snow. It feels like we haven't even had a winter yet, but I'm really excited to start this garden season and to be able to bring you along with me this year.
Okay, so we have our cells filled with our seed starting mix, and we're gonna give these a little drink of water. You don't wanna soak these, but you definitely wanna give them a little bit of a drink because you're dealing with super dry starting mix at this point, and you want to give them the best opportunity to be able to germinate and sprout. Okay, so once they're just a tiny bit wet, we are going to decide what to put where. So I think I want to do all of the Elfies and all of the Midnight Romas. I'm really excited for these Midnight Romas. This was one that produced so fantastic. And we'll see, hopefully they do the same for me. So I have 10 seeds in here, and I think I'm just gonna go ahead and germinate all 10. And cross my fingers that everything comes up. And then if I do wind up with 10 plants, I'm gonna share these with my sister and my mom. My mom is a aspiring gardener, and so my sister and I are trying to help her along in her seed starting journey or her gardening journey. So what I do, one of the things you wanna actually make sure of is that you do not put your seeds too deep. One of my tricks is to take a pencil that is sharpened, and you only want to plant it as deep as where the sharpened pencil starts. So it gives you a little bit of a guide, and then it's the perfect spot or perfect size to just plant, to make a hole in the dirt, I should say. Okay, so let's see here. We're gonna try to get all these guys in here. This is the Midnight Roma. And then another thing you really want to make sure you do is label where you put these, because I definitely have said to myself, I'll remember, and then I absolutely do not. And then it's just a complete guessing game. So this is a Roma paste tomato that is supposed to be, when I saw it grown with the Seasonal Homestead, on the Seasonal Homestead, she has it in I believe she has them outdoors, not in her high tunnel, but they grow to be a very large size Roma. So they're probably double the size of a typical Roma that you would see at the grocery store. They're huge. And the amount of flesh that you get from them was just unreal. She was able to grow half the amount of plants and get more preserved because of the size of the actual tomato. So once these go in, we're gonna go ahead and just cover them up a little bit, and then we will sit them, I'm gonna give them one more drink of water, and then we're gonna put them under the grow lights in the greenhouse. And hopefully within the next week or so, we will see some life.
I would love to know if you have any particular varieties of tomatoes or peppers or really anything that you absolutely love. I am always looking for new things to grow, and perhaps something that you grow great would do awesome in my garden. In the greenhouse behind me, I have some brassicas started, and I am a little bit nervous because I have absolutely never been able to grow brassicas. They always just succumb to pest pressure, and they are basically just a trap crop. And although that can be beneficial in certain ways, it's just not the goal. I would rather have the cabbages and the broccoli and things to use for my family rather than to feed the bugs. But like I said, if you have anything fantastic that you really love, I would love to know. So please comment below and let me know what your favorite things are to grow. Another thing that I'm going to try this year is really utilizing my green stalks as best I can. You can see one of them behind me here. It's the stacking little tier of pockets by the gate. It's such a fully functioning planting system. Each one of the tiers has 7 pockets, so you really can fit so many things in such a small footprint. Another fantastic thing about them is they have a self-watering system through the center, so you really just have to fill up the tray at the top and it trickles all through the entire thing. I have 4 of these, and my sister gave me one of them last year that she wasn't using, so now I'm going to have 5 this year. I bought them last year when they had a sale that was buy a 5, get a 3 for free, and I decided what would work great for our yard is to separate them into stacks of 4. So they're super versatile. You don't have to keep them as the size that they are. You can definitely kind of puzzle piece them together. But I was able to grow peppers in this particular one behind me. I grew, each tier had a different variety. And so there was a ton of peppers in a small space. And then I had one that had lettuces and greens. I had one that had herbs, and I think flowers would be so pretty in one.
Okie doke. Our seeds are ready for the greenhouse. I went ahead and labeled on here how many I put of what variety in each seed tray so that I can double check. There is one row that got left empty because I just didn't have enough of, I need to find something else to put in them, to be real. So we're gonna go ahead and give these a little bit of a water, and then we are gonna pop them in the greenhouse, and then hopefully within a week or so, we will see some life. I'm very excited to start this gardening season. I can't believe, honestly, that it's time to start 2026's garden. So the vast majority of this is peppers and tomatoes, and then the zucchini. I'm also growing, I filled one whole tray with these pincushion flowers. If you've ever grown these, please let me know. This one is from Botanical Interests. I'm very excited to try these. They are supposed to be a very beautiful cut flower as well as an excellent pollinator. So one thing also about our garden and our yard is that we raise mason bees. We have about 300 cocoons in the fridge right now that are going to be put out in the bee box. I will bring you along with us when we do that. My kiddos absolutely love setting the bees free. We have had such exponential growth with our cocoons. It's been fantastic. And the pollination that mason bees provide is just out of this world. They can pollinate over 300 times what a bumblebee does in the same lifespan. So it's been really, really fun. They are very docile. So it's a really cool experience to be able to bring the kids along with. And I absolutely love that they help the flowers and the vegetables grow. So these are gonna get a water. They're gonna go in the greenhouse. And then as soon as there's life, I will let you know.
Thank you so much for coming along with me as we start 2026's garden. I would love to connect with more of you. If you would consider subscribing, that would be amazing. And I can't wait to see you next time.